That's right. That's right. I'm going at the big dog with this one. I'm going at Joe Rogan, son. Nah, I'm messing around. I'm not. This isn't anything that's malicious by any stretch of the imagination. Truth be told, I am a gigantic Joe Rogan fan. I remember him back on news radio. I was actually excited when he hooked up with Candy Alexander. I was like, oh man, that's good. Good for him. Get that high class, seemingly high class, whatever. But either ways, he recently put up a clip from his podcast where he's speaking with another comic, and they're talking about men's rights. And, you know, I feel as if I can chime in a bit and point a few things out here. So let's rock.
Trying to figure out a way that I could explain it to someone who might have a preconceived notion about who I am, like to say it in a way that makes people.
Okay, wait. All right. So, should I run the entire thing, or should I try to get past it? Let me try to get past it. Go up a little bit.
They laughed because the punchline was.
Okay, so here's the setup. They're talking about him doing a bit, doing a set at a comedy show. And he apparently this was a comedy show for feminists. So let's rock.
Good, and I had a place to go with it, and the place to go was ultimately mocking men's rights activists. That was the.
That is literally, like, honestly, jokes at the expense of men is. It's literally what comedy is, you know? Like, we're hilarious. So, like, I mean, that's just like comedy, but, you know, the feminist crowd will definitely, that's going to pop. You can give them the laziest joke. As long as at the end of the day, it rips on dudes, you will get a pop from them.
The real thing was, the setup for that joke is, I don't like anybody's into one thing. And I go, but what drives me the most fucking crazy is men's rights activists. I'm like, every men's rights activist I ever met, I just want to grab them and go, dude, we got them all. Yeah. We got all the rights. Yeah. We got them.
Okay, and that's where we're going to start with the first real cutoff. Everyone does in America. You know, I mean, thank God for that beautiful thing we like to call a constitution, right? Like, like when people sit there and talk about human rights or, like, you know, trans rights or anything else like that, when you're in the United States, if you're born of the United States, you have constitutional rights. And it's that piece of paper that really, you know, kind of keeps the whole thing going. It is the heart and soul of the nation, because everything entailed is what gives us the ability to live as we do. You know, men, women, I mean, it's amazing because, you know, and like take a lot of the trans community, right? Like in Saudi Arabia or any of these other countries, like, you can't walk around like that, bruh. But not to be disrespectful, but I mean, end of the day. But here in the United States, I mean, shoot, like I'm in Jersey, right? I'm downtown North, trying just going about their business and nobody messing with them. Why? Because guess what? It's just not my problem. I don't care. Like, we don't care. Do you just like, yo, like, that's you living your world, you know? And so when you like, that can literally be said to any dude, to any living human being in the United States of America. You have all the rights. A big thing when it comes to you know, why we tend to view women somewhat, we categorize women with minorities, and honestly, no, they are a majority. They always have and always will likely outnumber us. So, you know, I mean, and they completely have equal rights. That's one of the things that amazes me the most when it comes to a lot of these conversations, is just this this biological wiring we as men have to, you know, aim to protect and, you know, see a woman, even if it's a, you know, gigantic butch woman, like, you know, the energy, the aura, what have you, still, like, at least by nature, puts us in protector mode, you know? So.
I can't believe that's a real thing. Men's rights activists.
What's a real thing if you get divorced and you have child? It's for child custody. Those things are.
But that's the thing. I mean, divorce, child custody, Me Too'd, because like honestly, because we as men are such natural protectors, we made sure that the system in place, because we love our daughters, right? So we make sure that there's a system in place that will take care of our girls, you know. But that it does come at a cost. It does, and it has come at a cost. It's come at a real cost, particularly in urban America, where there is a huge sentiment of, you know, single motherhood and you don't need no man and everything else like that. I mean, it does get nuts, and I don't think that it's necessarily due to divorce. You know, it's not just divorce at all.
Those things are real. Like, guys really, I know men who have gotten really fucked over in divorce, where their wife hired a fucking killer lawyer, and they drag them through. See, the thing about, and I learned this from Phil Hartman.
Okay, Phil Hartman, man. Oh, man. Like, you know, rest in peace, brother. He was comic gold back in the day. I mean, from Jingle All the Way to Troy McClure. Hey, it's Troy McClure. Like, nobody did sleazy, and I mean this in the most complimentary manner, and I believe that, you know, I think Joe would even agree with that. Nobody did sleazy the way that Phil Hartman did. He seemed like he really was an amazing talent. I mean, it seemed like a really nice guy. But, you know, rest in peace, Phil Hartman.
Unfortunately, before he died, I was trying to tell him to get divorced, and I said, just give her half, man, you'll make more money. He goes, it's not half. He goes, it's 2/3. He goes, the fucking lawyers take 1/3. It's a goddamn scam. You know?
Yeah, see? And the deal is that this has been ongoing for, you know, like 30, 40, 50 years now. I mean, right now I was reading something where they were excluded. There's more women millionaires and billionaires than ever before. And in the article, it was like, it's because 80% of them are divorced. Like 80% of that comes from divorce. So I've never been divorced. I've been in long-term relationships. I've had did the whole family thing with my ex-girlfriend and stuff. But as far as, you know, marriage and jump in the broom, that man, thank God for quite a few things.
He was furious about it because apparently he'd been trying to figure it out, like how to do it. But I had a friend whose ex-wife dragged it out on purpose because she wanted him to pay the legal bills. So he had to pay for her lawyer, he had to pay for his lawyer, and then he had to pay for all of the times that she decided to change the goalposts and renegotiate. Like, there's no one can say that you can't renegotiate.
And you know who you wanted? Girls with girls and men with men. See, because that's the thing. Once again, the protector provider role. It like we have a social contract. There's a social contract that is biological in nature, and it's really how societies continue to thrive and flourish. You know, there's really only one way in which to create life, and that is, you know, that social contract. But it's been really maligned. I don't want to say broken. I want to say maligned. And over the last couple of decades, via, you know, a lot of strategies, aka no fault divorces, and that really messes with the equilibrium, because, you know, like Janet Jackson, allegedly, Janet Jackson, she married that prince, had his baby. That was part of, I guess, the contract. She waited the 5 years until the annulment was done, and then she skipped away with her money. It really is a financial transaction. Marriage is a financial transaction. Some, like, due to, I guess, jewelers and Valentine's Day and all these different companies that look to make that need to make a buck. I mean, there's complete industries based around the concept of love, when, let's be real, it's endorphins. It's the necessary intoxication that urges the human species to breed. It really is chemical. And so, but that's the thing. That's not what we've been selling generations of Americans. And so what's actually a financial transaction is built off of temporary emotions, particularly as time goes on, because that's the great regulator in all things. It's time. You give anything enough time, trust me, it will show itself for whatever it is. It's just a fact, and I believe that goes doubly and triply for human beings.
So she would just renegotiate and just drag things out, and her goal was to try to drain him financially. Mm-hmm. So she was doing this on purpose, like targeting him. So he was essentially paying for the general of the army that was plotting to murder him, and he was slow.
Dude, it's just like, I don't understand how MRAs are a thing. It's just like, how can you not? Okay, first and foremost, I'm not an MRA. I'm not MGTOW. I am red pilled, but I'm not, and I do not particularly claim any ideology, because I believe if you go too deeply into any ideology, man, it's a rabbit hole you'll just never get out of. So I try to stay. I look in a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what that's about. Oh, that's very interesting. Cool. But I don't particularly partake in the Kool-Aid. But I do, and that gives me the ability to try and see things from every angle, not just, one particular one, because I do understand the feminist point. Like I said, I do understand why these laws are as they are, because, there are so many sob stories of, this man, he did me wrong, all this other stuff. I mean, but we're about to get into that now, aren't we?
Slowly going crazy, and I was watching my friend go crazy, and it took several years for it to be completely resolved, and he's still paying her. He's been divorced for, I think, 12 years now, and he still pays her. Jesus. They didn't have a child, and he has a family now. He's married with children now. He still pays this person.
Get on you, brother. I mean, honestly, I just don't want the video to play too long, because I wouldn't want to get copyright striked. But get on you, brother, for, making yourself a whole new family and stuff, and still paying this chick. I mean, good work.
He fucked her so hard she can't work. 12 years later. Yeah, so that's where men's rights activists have a point. Because if you're in a state that's particularly progressive or liberal in regards to alimony and child support, the only thing that we win on that is like Tom Arnold. Like we got a one on.
Okay, blue states suck ass, dude. Like, seriously. I'm gonna be real with you. Blue states, I'm in Jersey right now. It taxed to hell. Our governor is paid for his seat, so nobody really mess with him. And I remember, oh my goodness, I remember when Phil Murphy, I'm sorry, but just take a second. I remember when Phil Murphy was getting elected here in New Jersey, and he was just knocking people off before the debates even started, and then they just threw out John Wisniewski, Ray Lesniak, this brother. But I think Jeffries, something like that. I'm not sure. But they just threw a bunch of lambs out the slaughter, and really just like the establishment rolled over for him. And now that he has to govern, he's getting his back kicked in hard. It's really interesting here in Jersey. But yeah, blue states suck balls.
Board for Tom Arnold. When he divorced. But the problem with that is I love Roseanne more than I love Tom Arnold. No offense, Tom. But I do. So it bothered me that Roseanne had to pay him. Like, bro,
I watched True Lies the other day. Tom Arnold wasn't too bad in that. I think that's the only thing that I like Tom Arnold in was True Lies. Because, wait a second, in True Lies, he was talking this smack. He was like, yeah, he got divorced in True Lies. I remember that. Wow, man, the world is symmetrical.
Get the fuck out of here. You can work. Like, why? How come when you were with a successful person, if that successful person says, fucking kick bricks, get out of here, you have to pay them? that person has to pay the person they're getting rid of? Why? Well, he's used to her lifestyle. What?
That I'm used to it is
Crazy.
the craziest thing. Yeah.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
From both sides, though. Like, I mean, if we say here, like, okay, like, constitutionally, we're all equal, right? So, thusly, like, yeah, it's never been a better time for women to, you know, be in the workforce, because there's tons of opportunities out there for you, darling. I mean, that actually pay way better than a lot of opportunities for men, and you can tell that in a lot of the statistics where, you know, the younger the woman and stuff like that in the same age range, the more she makes a ton more money than the dudes do. Definitely, that wage gap stuff is definitely reversed the further down you get, the younger the ages of the demographics tested get.
It's childcare. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this person is taking care of the children. They're your children. You guys had these children together. You have to contribute to the money that it costs to raise a child. 100%.
Yeah, but does it like take 30 grand like a month to raise a kid? Let me tell you something. If you believe that, I know some people collecting EBTs that can definitely put that to the test. I mean, seriously, it's just like when you sit there and look at a lot of these numbers, I mean, the money's astronomical. So, Chris Rock had this great joke where he said, like, look, where he was like, look, I like, if, you know, you making $3 million and she take half, she walk away 1.5, you walk away 1.5, you alright, you doing good. But if you making 30,000 and she take 15, like,
I get it. What I don't get is alimony. I just don't get it. We're not together anymore. Know how we were before we were together and you didn't have any money, and then you met me and now I have money, and then you got used to having money? Well, you're going to have to get used to not having money. Yeah. Because now you don't have any money. Because now we're not together anymore.
You see how, like, that's the thing. As soon as you start talking about these things, wait a second, yeah, there's a lot of BS that takes place within the social contract that that's been established for us by our creator, the great animator, you know, intelligent design, whatever the hell you want to call it. This is not my business. I ain't your daddy.
Or like a year, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, let her take some time to get back on her feet.
Right.
But
don't be a prostitute or anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to be
I think it's just bitterness. It's like, I want to take you for everything that I can. Like, one of my friends who was going through a divorce, he was like, of all my friends who've gotten a divorce, 80% of them, if they have kids, the wife accuses the husband of molesting the kids.
Oh, Jesus.
And there we are. Remember, I told you to put a pin in the whole, like, it's just, women can be so malicious. Like, and we know this. I mean, and that right there. I mean, the accusations, it was something my own father went through. I to this day, I still don't know how my parents didn't get divorced, but yeah, my father went through having someone lie on him, having my adopted sister lie on him. And so, you know, like, these things, it's just like, and then you have, like, you know, to have something like a Me Too movement where they're like, oh my goodness, and times up where, oh, we're just going to take women's words for things. And it's like, no, we got to let the legal process play out. And unfortunately, it just doesn't seem as if there's a lot of people interested in taking that time to like, you know, let the truth come out, and they just want to attack and destroy off top.
Just for visitation, you know, just like
for negotiation.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the lawyers are onto that now. You know, I mean, this is actually something that my friend was warned of when him and his wife were splitting up. Like, is your wife malicious? Will she, you know, make some sort of a baseless accusation? And he's like, how so? And then they went into that. Yeah, man, there's evil people.
Because it happens so damn often. I mean, it's just like, you can, and it's, I don't want to turn it into a knot, but, you know, the ability to remove oneself from any culpability in any given situation is, it's not gender exclusive. It definitely isn't. And there's a lot of men who don't have that type of honor either. But, I mean, yeah. Like, you might want to do a little research before you go hauling off. I mean, you come across so many brothers that sit there, take a woman, a lady's word for something, go wilding out, and come to find out, nah, it didn't happen that way, and it's sad, because particularly when it ends in violence.
Out there, and there's also this thing that happens when people break up with someone. If there's someone who doesn't want to be with you anymore, someone that you deeply loved and cared about, like, you want them to suffer. It's weird. It's weird. I mean, it's normal, so I guess it's not that weird. But
that's the thing, though. I mean, do you? Should you? Every situation is so different and so unique that, I think that we are as human beings are just the two people that made us and our experiences. And the deal is that that's what we are. That's who we ultimately are. And so I just
vicious jealousy.
Well, yep, that was the end of the video anyway. All right, fantastic. So, yeah, Joe, I mean, you kind of just talked to yourself. It's like you talked yourself into really agreeing with a lot of the concerns that those in the MRA community have. I mean, ultimately, that's what the conversation came down to, and so I just found that out as strange, because it's like I really can't help but feel like there's just this, like, as guys, we kind of, like, by nature, this is biological. I can't help but feel like we're kind of just like, we're tough. We got this. You got this. You can handle this, and a lot of us can. Too many of us can't, and so I personally, I don't think that dismissing other people's concerns is very productive in such a manner. That's all. It's nothing, no anger, no maliciousness. I just feel like, I mean, they have a point about quite a few things, and how we switch these things back. How do we turn anything? It's not anyone's place to say, but I just feel as if, there was something to be said within this last 22 minutes. Jesus. All right. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you watched this long, thank you. I appreciate it. Please do all the internet stuff, like, sub, share, speak. What do you think? Do you think that, hey, the MRAs need to go get a life? Do you think, news radio was as awesome as I did? Please comments down below, and until the next video. Until the next video.